Patrice Leon-Wook is with us, the Independent Women's Forum. Washington Times contributor Eric Schiffer here as well. Thanks to you both. I know, Eric, I'll start with you on this. There are a number of conservatives who are not happy that this bill was signed and not vetoed. What are your thoughts this evening?
I think this was a giant strategic mistake by the president, and I think he's going to regret it. To not have vetoed this is inconsistent with everything that he's done so far. I mean, he's been so consistent in keeping promises with the base on almost everything. But in this situation, you're basically abandoning immigration. And that was a core issue, the wall, immigration.
Yep.
So
said he had to, though.
This is going to hurt.
Said he had to.
Well, look, I'm a proponent of the military. There's no question. But that's the window dressing. I think that I'm glad they got it, but not to the extent that it just throws away immigration. That's the core of his presidency, was immigration. And that's what the base was so excited about, and he's just ignored it.
I started, Patrice, with Eric on purpose. I do the base, the Trump base, and we've heard from whether it's Twitter or whatever it is throughout the day today on many of the other shows that preceded ours, that people in the president's base are not happy with his decision. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, I think people recognize that, they elected Republicans from top to bottom, from the White House all the way to Congress, expecting that there would be fiscal responsibility, looking at the national debt, looking at the drivers of debt, and expecting that, once in power, Republicans would hold their their own and continue to do what they're supposed to do. But the political realities here were, that you're in an imperfect situation where you needed some sort of Democratic support, and they felt that, this was the only way to avert a government shutdown, the second or third within this year alone. So, this is what they had to do. I do think, though, that when we look at our big drivers of national debt, right. It's really not even just the domestic spending that increased. It's really those entitlement, that mandatory spending, and that, unfortunately, no one is talking about.
No one's talking. I was going to say, yeah, we haven't started to talk about that one yet. One of the olive branches, I guess, that the president tried to throw out today, and we'll talk in a moment about whether there's any political reality in terms of this coming to fruition, but he talked about a line item veto, right, for all of government spending bills. Let's take a listen once again to the president.
To prevent the omnibus situation from ever happening again, I'm calling on Congress to give me a line item veto for all government spending bills, and the Senate must end. They must end the filibuster rule and get down to work.
All right. Here's the problem with that, Eric, among other things, that would require a constitutional amendment, 2/3 vote in both houses of Congress, and I don't think I need to tell you that that's not very likely, is it?
Well, conservatives don't need a line item veto. They need a president that keeps his word, period. Right. And that's what angers so many people, that immigration has just been thrown out the door, and that he has ignored the people that brought him to this level of power. He's just completely ignored them. And it's so strange because up to this point, he's been consistent. It's as if he's just not, he's lost his focus. He's lost what he ran on. And he's deserted so many millions of people who really have counted on him.
The president knew that he would take a hit from his base on this just by the tone he was using today, because that was a somber president for a bill signing ceremony as it was billed.
That's right.
Patrice, we're going to come back to you and get much more from you, Eric, as well, a little bit later in the program. Do have to take a break.